You are listening to KSKQ 89.5 FM, Ashland, Oregon, and KSKQ Translator K231CW 94.1 FM.
Blessings and welcome to EARTHEART Radio. Finally beginning to awaken from the illusion of separateness and broadcasting live from the KSKQ studios in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. Here's your host, Shankara Das.
It's actually pronounced Shankara Das. I messed up, man. I really did. I messed up when I had those recorded because I just did. Hey, welcome to another episode of EARTHEART Radio. Good afternoon, wherever you're listening from. I am Derek Moody, a.k.a. Shankara Das. EARTHEART Radio show number 8. Today is a pledge drive weekend, so that's the most important thing to remember. We do and will ask for your support. We need it. Also today on EARTHEART Radio, we will spotlight a saint, as always. We'll deliver positive news to have you walking away happy today and uplifted, hopefully. And we will play some groovy music along the way. Again, today is a special edition of the show because it is a pledge drive. So I'm going to ask you to call, go to the website, or come in person at 330 East Hersey in Ashland, Oregon, right there at Hersey and Phelps Streets. You can let your fingers do the walking and go to kskq.org, or you can call when I'm not on the air talking, 541-482-3999. And those are the ways that you can donate to KSKQ with our beloved pledge drive happening right this very momento. We are going to play something really cool today. I'm going to play back a conversation that I had about a year ago with the legendary holy man and lover of God in all forms. His name is Bhagavan Das, and he is nationally known as, well, along with Sister Tracy McLeod. We interviewed Baba about a year ago on the Church of Rock radio show right here at KSKQ. The chat was originally recorded May 13th, 2018. It was a very interesting and engaging conversation, and one that came from the heart. Bhagavan Das is a controversial personality and a person who a lot of people project a whole lot of things on to. They really do. Some good things, some bad things, some things that are true and some things that are not true. But we're going to play the interview with Bhagavan Das for you very shortly. I do know this. I love Bhagavan Das very much. He's one of a kind, man. He's a soul in a human body, and while being a big lover of God in all forms, he's also a human just like you and me. He spent over 50 years building up intense Shakti and sending love and harmony out into the universe for the benefit of all cosmic creatures and mankind. Next week on the show is week number 2 and the final week of our pledge drive. For a while today, it does begin, though, and we need your help. 541-482-3999 is the number. Please donate from the heart. We do ask that you donate today if you could. It doesn't matter what amount, but, you know, we are one of those radio stations and one of the very few left in the country with, it's like a vestige of free speech right here. We're not controlled by the corporate conglomerates. We are not controlled by the man. We are the man, and you're the man, and we need each other's money to help in this silly world to keep things going. So if you could contribute today, I would love you that much more. But I'd still love you even if you didn't, because, heck, I'm going to contribute. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this party started, shall we? I think it's a good time to get into what we're getting into, right? Yeah, let's do this, man. You're at the EARTHEART Radio Show.
Saints, angels, avatars, sages, yogis, holy men, medicine women, helpers, elders, revolutionaries, and advocates of love. Today we honor and show love, respect, and gratitude.
That's right. Each week we do spotlight a saint right here on Earth Heart Radio. And it's something I really enjoy doing, and today is no different. Today we're going to talk about a man that was born February 18th, 1836 in India. Gadadhar. Gadadhar was his original name. He was an Indian Hindu mystic and saint in 19th century Bengal. You might have heard of him as the name Ramakrishna. He's one of my very favorites. Ramakrishna experienced spiritual ecstasies from a young age and was influenced by several religious traditions, including devotion towards the goddess Kali, Tantra, Bhakti, and Advaita Vedanta. As a priest in the Dakshineswar Kali temple, his mystical temperament and ecstasies gradually gained him widespread acknowledgement, attracting to him various spiritual teachers, social leaders, lay followers, and eventually disciples. Reverence and admiration for him among Bengali elites led to his chief disciple, Swami Vivekananda, founding the Ramakrishna Math, which provides spiritual training for monastics and householder devotees of the Ramakrishna mission to provide charity work and education. The organization was founded in 1897 and also conducts extensive work in healthcare, disaster relief, rural management, tribal welfare, elementary and higher education, and on and on. Max Mueller, Mahatma Gandhi, and Leo Tolstoy have acknowledged Ramakrishna's contribution to humanity. In Ramakrishna's view, lust and greed are obstacles to God realization. He taught his male devotees the downfalls of women and gold, and yet he taught his more rare female devotees the downfalls of men and gold. He also instructed his disciples to conquer the lust inside the mind. Ramakrishna's parents experienced supernatural incidents and visions before his birth. Ramakrishna first described his first visions at the age of 6. From age 10 on, his trances became very common, and by his final years of life, his samadhi periods occurred daily. Ramakrishna married Sarada Devi, a.k.a. Holy Mother. This was not a normal marriage. It was a marriage never consummated. It was a spiritual union. Ramakrishna regarded her as Divine Mother. She did outlive Ramakrishna by 34 years, by the way, the Holy Mother did. Ramakrishna was a temple priest at Dakshineswar. Vivekananda became his most influential follower, popularizing and interpretations of Indian traditions which harmonized yoga, Vedanta, and Tantra, and the Ramakrishna order was established. Ramakrishna emphasized God realization, stating that, quote, "To realize God is the only goal in life." He found that Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam all move towards the same God, or divine, though using different ways. Quote, "All scriptures seek him and no one else." Ramakrishna departed this material world at the age of, I'm not sure what his physical age was. I do know that he died at August the 16th, 1886. There's so many wonderful books about Ramakrishna. And I was speaking with Bhagavan Das one time, and he said to me, "Isn't it wild how when you read a book about Ramakrishna, within about just a paragraph or a couple sentences, you're immediately in that God place?" And it's true. I've read dozens of books, half a dozen books on Ramakrishna, and I do. You immediately get into that really, really deep spiritual place. And Ramakrishna said lots of beautiful things in his life, like, for instance, he said, "When the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited." And he said, "God is in all men, but all men are not in God, and that is why we suffer." Another quote from the great Ramakrishna, "The winds of grace are always blowing, but you have to raise the sail." One more, and then we'll do a song. "Many good sayings are to be found in holy books, but merely reading them will not make one religious." We'll talk more and give some more quotes about the great Ramakrishna. Of course, if he was alive, he would not want to hear somebody call him the great Ramakrishna. He had no ego like that. The guy didn't even touch money. I think when he did, he was shocked, like an electric shock. So he threw the only time he held money, he threw it into the water and regarded money as very dirty. And he never held it after that ever again. Lots of great books on Ramakrishna. The number here is 541-482-3999. We would love if you would call and be one of the first to donate on the Earth Heart Radio Show. We've got lots of incentives for you. For instance, if you donate $25, I can give you a gift card for vinyl, and good vinyl at Biscuits and Vinyl over in Talent, Oregon. Yeah, it's a $25 gift card. So, you know, if you kick in $25, you get a gift card for Biscuits and Vinyl, and the actual value is $20. So we're trying to make a little money for ourselves here, you see, to keep the lights on. We have the Dobra Tea House. They've got a $15 gift card. So if you want to kick in $15, we can set you up with some tea. Who doesn't love tea, right? How about the Medford Food Co-op for some great organic food over in South Medford? It's a great shop, man, and it's $35. Anyway, give us a call if you want to pledge. We would love to hear from you at 541-482-3999. We've got a very great, interesting interview with Bhagavan Das coming up in just about 5 minutes, 6 minutes maybe. In the meantime, here is a song from the Now album, produced by Mike D of the Beastie Boys. Ironically enough, it is Bhagavan Das doing Shiva Shambho right here at the Earth Heart Radio Show and KSKQ, where we love you very much.
Niranjan Sabaduga Banjan Bum Bihari Kabale Hamari Shambho Laga Tiri Tambu Bum 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 Blut Blut Bum Shankar Bulinad Mahadeva Bum 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 Shivo 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 Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva
You're listening to KSKQ Radio and the EARTHEART Radio Show. That was Bhagavan Das with Shiva Shambho from the Now album. Welcome to the show, edition number 8. It is a pledge drive weekend, and we did have a call, and we had an anonymous caller donate $25. And he's dropping the money off in cash here in town in Ashland, so thank you. We've got $25 so far on the EARTHEART Radio Show, and that person would like to claim the Biscuits and Vinyl gift card. So, hey, that's yours, buddy. If anyone would like to match that $25, it's pretty easy. You just call 541-482-3999, or you can go online at kskq.org and make a donation there. Talent Health Club is pleased to be an underwriter of KSKQ. Talent Health Club is a recreational cannabis dispensary. Complete information is available at www.talenthealthclub.com. THC is located at 1027 South Pacific Highway in Talent, Oregon. THC is open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, and Sundays, 10 to 6. KSKQ thanks Talent Health Club and listeners like you for supporting community radio. With no further ado, Baba Bhagavan Das started out being named Kermit Michael Riggs on May 17th, 1945. He's a Bhakti yogi practitioner, a Shakta Tantra adept, and a Kirtan singer and teacher. As a young man, he was one of the very first Western devotees of the late Hindu holy man Neem Karoli Baba, as well as the first American to meet Kalo Rinpoche. During the almost 7 years he spent as a wandering aesthetic in India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, he received numerous teachings and initiations from living saints and sages, including the Beatles' very own yogi Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Sri Anandamayi Ma, and Tarthang Tulku of the Dudjom Rinpoche lineage. Bhagavan Das guided spiritual teacher Ram Das, known at the time as Dr. Richard Albert. He introduced Ram Das to Neem Karoli Baba. Of course, Bhagavan Das gained fame after that because he was featured in Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now. Bhagavan Das travels the world as a performer in both traditional and non-traditional Indian bhajans and kirtans, and is the author of an autobiography called It's Here Now, Are You? I first met Bhagavan Das back in around 2013, started meeting him via Skype, and he relocated to the Ashland area from Woodstock, New York after that. I put an ad on Craigslist. And, well, coincidentally enough, a devotee of Neem Karoli Baba answered the ad and provided Bhagavan Das with a place to live in Williams, Oregon for a few years. And the same guy became Baba's full-time drummer. I started to manage Bhagavan Das for a couple of weeks. I didn't do a very good job. I'm not really a manager, so I did get Baba a couple of gigs. And then the same guy, Nico, who gave Baba a place to live, and became his drummer, well, he became his manager. So everything worked out in a really great way for Bhagavan Das. He did spend Thanksgiving with me and my family last year, which was really a great time. We became part-time babysitters for Bhagavan Das's puppy, Bodhi, along with our friend Michael Tremblay. Many, many lunches and dinners and tears and laughter together. Bhagavan Das is definitely a member of my family. Neem Karoli Baba has found love and renewed lease on life through Bhagavan Das, who is now residing in Maui. This interview, again, is from May 13th, 2018. I just want to say welcome, Bhagavan Das, to the show.
Thank you very much.
You
I can't hear anything in here.
Okay, let me see here. How's this?
Yeah, I can hear
Sound better now?
Yeah, I can hear better now.
Great. It's great to have you here. I know you haven't done an interview since you said around 96. That's a long time.
Long time. I was in New York City at the time, so I was doing a lot of, more active stuff. So
yeah. yoga centers, things like that.
Yeah, everything, just concerts, touring, is crazy life.
And we just heard a song from the Now album, which a lot of folks that don't know was produced by Mike D of the Beastie Boys. What's your personal thoughts on that? Did you like the production on that album?
Yeah, I do. I like it very much.
Me too.
It was difficult dealing because Grand Royal, the company that Mike D started, that the record was to come out on, went out of business while the record was in production. So we had to find a new home for it. So it was a difficult situation.
Oh boy, probably didn't help a lot as far as getting the word out there.
No, it didn't help at all because his machine was down and we couldn't use it to promote the record. So it just kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, it's a great record though,
Yeah.
and I really dig it from beginning to end. It's got such a great production and the beats to it, and the vocals, of course, stellar as always.
Yeah.
So you were talking before with me, telling me that you had done a series of records. I think it was a 2 or 3 set for one label, including the Howler at Dawn.
Yeah, that's called Network in Canada.
Nice. I really like the stuff on those as well. Who produced those?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. It was all self-produced. We did it ourselves.
Yeah, amazing job. Yeah, the vocals are great. As far as the mix,
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I don't know, for people who don't know too much about, and the correct pronunciation is kirtan, am I right?
Kirtan, yes.
Kirtan. For people who maybe aren't familiar with that type of music, or can you tell us just a little bit about what it is?
It's a devotional form of mantra, which is devotional chanting using the sacred Sanskrit names of the devas, which are the divinities of India, the different gods called devas, and it is invoking the conscious energy of their purity to bring that energy into our lives and to tune us in, because they live in different heaven worlds, and they have a great effect upon us here in this world, in the desire world of samsara.
Now, is it something you've always been doing, or is it something like, when did you start?
Yeah, I started when I was, very young, like around 18, and I'm 73, so I guess I've been doing it over 50 years.
Wow. And so for those who don't know, a lot about Bhagavan Das, can you tell us just a little bit about when you first went to India? How kind of how you became you?
Yeah, I'll give you some yes. Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I've got a book out on Amazon. It's got my whole life story on it. It's my memoir.
We do a great book, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good book, and it's called "It's Here Now, Are You?" And you guys can go into detail in that book if you're interested. But basically, I grew up in Southern California, surfer culture, in 1963, and I was supposed to go to Vietnam and kill people, and I got a letter in the mail from the Army saying, go to Vietnam and kill people or get killed. And I didn't think it was a good idea at the time. So I left America, and I realized that things were falling apart deeply in America, everywhere, I thought. And then I had to get out of what it was. I just didn't know what to get out of because I didn't know what I was in. But I knew I was in something that was really fake and phony and crazy, and it just wasn't real. So I just basically, I had a really great guitar, a Martin D28 Dreadnought, and I sold it for $200. And I hitchhiked to New York, and I got on I got a boat to Amsterdam for $140, and got off the boat a month later and had $60 to my name, which was what I basically had for the next 8 years. I had no money. I hitchhiked around. I made my way. I was looking for a spiritual connection. I didn't know who or what it was, but I knew that there was someone out there, and I had to find the guru, the great man, the great woman, this spiritual being, this great saint, this person who would be able to help and tell me what to do and how to live my life and what was really going on. Because I knew that something wasn't really right about everything. Everything was always just not right. So I hitchhiked around and I met these people in Greece who just come from India, and they started telling me stories about India, and I knew that that's where all the saints lived, that's where the holy people were. I would find my guru there, and I took off hitchhiking for India. I got there 3 months later, and this was in 1965. So I got to India and basically went into a retreat for a month called the Temple of Silence, and totally freaked out. And I'd never been alone by myself in my whole life before. And it was just a really traumatizing experience, but it was very powerful. And then I started getting deeper and deeper into my heart and my mind, and realizing that I'd come to India and that I wanted to become a saint, and that was the goal of my life, and that I was in saint school, and all the saints come from India. And so how do you do it? How do you live a virtuous life in a very unvirtuous world? Very, very hard. You need good companionship. You need to be around very pure, upright, high-minded, ethical people, which you could still find in India in those days. So I went to Rishikesh, which was this place where all the Beatles had just left, and it's like a sort of a spiritual community in India where a lot of sadhus and saintly people live. And I went there, and I met the guy who started TM, Transcendental Meditation, who was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He initiated me into mantra, and I started meditating. And I went up to a cave behind Rishikesh, and I lived there for 3 months. And basically, I just spent 15 hours a day meditating. And I realized that if I wanted to get enlightened, that's the only way I was going to get free from my mind. And all this worldly projection, whatever it was, I didn't even know. And so I did that for 3 months. Finally, decided I would just leave, and I left the cave, and I went to another town, and I met a Swami who spoke perfect English, and I stayed with him for 6 months, and he put me on the program, which was sadhana. Sadhana means a daily spiritual practice, which is very important if you want to transcend the mundane world. You have got to do a serious spiritual practice on a daily basis. So he got me into this practice, and he got me doing a lot of asceticism, which was basically, for me, it was 3 hours of sleep a night, and I was only allowed to have 1 glass of milk a day, no food. I got very thin, but I purified very deeply. And a lot of meditation, a lot of spiritual study. Finally, after 6 months, Swami said, let's go on a pilgrimage. He took me up to the mountains, up to Nainital, and it was about, 5-6 hours from where we were living at the time in Dehradun, which was another hill station in India, in the Himalayas. And we went up there and we visited a temple called Kanchi, which was about 8,000 feet in this valley. And there was a temple there, a Hanuman temple. And there was a saint there named Neem Karoli Baba, who became my guru. I met him there with Swamiji, and it was a mind-blowing experience. And basically, he just jumped into my heart and closed the door, and that was it. After that experience with Neem Karoli Baba, everything in my life shifted dramatically. It was just like the biggest love of my life. And I ended up spending the rest of my years in India, which was about 6 years, on and off with Neem Karoli Baba, traveling with him everywhere in India, listening to him, working with him, and really trying to understand what it was. And what it is beyond the mind. It is the heart. It is the true heart of divine love, which is the divine mother energy, which we all have. It's our life force. It's the light of our life. And the mother is the light of our life because she is our life. We are living the life of the divine mother. Your mother gave you birth. And that birth is the great gift that we all have to do something big with it. Meaning, let's get out of the prison of our mind. Let's get out of all of this craziness that we've all created, and everyone's running around doing such mundane, meaningless things. What does it all mean in the end? We're all going to die. We're all going to leave this world. And why are we here? And what precious time left do we have? And what can we do about it? And these are the things that we need to think about and do something about it, because nothing's going to change until you change. And it's so important to realize that this precious human birth is the greatest opportunity right now for us to really transcend and to do some serious spiritual work, because death is coming and we're all going to leave, and we don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know what the circumstances will be, but when we die, our consciousness will go on. This is the important thing to realize. We are not this body. We are living in this body. We are a guest. This is our motel. When we leave, the consciousness goes on. What will carry us forward is our action, either virtuous or unvirtuous. Happiness comes from virtuous actions. Unhappiness comes from unvirtuous actions. We all know what it is. You know, it's very, very simple. So that's what I'm all about. I'm trying to do my best to purify myself and take care of myself and live, a really exemplary life and be an example to other people. And I really pray that, I could leave something really good behind in this lifetime and be an inspiration for other people to change.
Well, I think you've done a lot of that. You've done a lot of that so far. Wow. I'm just trying to take that all in. I know it must have been, I'm just going to jump a little bit ahead of things here just because of time, but I know you spent a little time in Tibet after you were in India. What was it like coming back to the States after being...
Oh, coming back to the States was
you came back to New York? Is that where you went?
Yeah, I came back to New York City, and it was really, really harsh and hard on me.
It must have been. I can imagine.
It took me actually years to get my bearings in America and the West. I was very, very at home in India. And, Indians in India is a very intuitive kind of culture. And I learned to speak the language fluently, and I just felt this amazing freedom and openness there in India. When I came back to America, it was just really hard. And New York City was tough, and I don't know, it was just very difficult to deal with it. The fame that was created for me by Ram Dass and the book Be Here Now, and having all this celebrity status and all these people all over me all the time, and it's pretty sad, actually. Pretty difficult.
In New York, of all places, do you have family in New York?
No,
or was there
no
a reason,
family. I had a patron there,
okay,
who was, a quite rich man who was taking care of me and helping me in the West.
Now, I heard you say when you first started telling the story that you had a pretty awesome guitar when you first took off on your journey. So you were into music.
Oh, yeah. I've been into music since I was like a kid. My father was a professional musician. He had great big bands, like big dance bands in the 20s and 30s. He wrote a lot of music. He was very big in Hollywood and very successful life as a musician.
That kind of music.
Yeah, big band. He had 30-piece orchestras. And very, very... So he wrote music, and I was playing drums with him, and he was teaching me, music since I was just a young kid.
Now, I had said something to the Reverend here, Derek Moody, recently. We were talking about, what are we going to ask Bhagavan Das? And, there's so many questions we want to ask. And one of the ones that I just kind of thought of was, what do you think if you could go back and, you couldn't go to India and you had to go to college or whatever and do a different career, do something different, what would you have chose to do? And now I'm thinking maybe it might be professional musician.
Oh, probably, for sure. I would have definitely been a musician. but it's a hard road too.
It is a hard road. It definitely is.
But since we're talking about music, and a lot of people listening are obviously music fans because it's a music show, and this is relevant. You're friends with a few people in the music world. You've had some circumstances where you've crossed paths with different folks in the music world.
Yeah.
For instance, Chris Novoselic is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
From Nirvana. A lot of folks listening here are big Nirvana fans. So
Right.
I found it interesting to hear that Chris had actually backed you up on several gigs, right?
Yeah, he did. He backed me up in Seattle on 2 or 3 different, concerts. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Was he playing bass?
Yeah, he was playing bass.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the Madonna connection? What happened
Well,
with you
we
and
met. Madonna and I spent, 4 or 5 hours together chanting and singing, and that was about it.
Wow, did she contact you?
Yeah, she did. She wanted to meet me, and it was during her. I think she did that one spiritual album. It was something about light or something.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, it was right when she did that album.
Beautiful. Do you know if she was a fan of like your book or your music? She must have been, obviously, to have contacted you.
Yeah, maybe. I really don't know.
Interesting, man. Also, Boz Scaggs, I just recently learned at one point had lived with you for a while.
Yeah, I lived with Boz Scaggs in Nepal. He came there in 1966, and I met him out on the street. And we spent like about a month together playing guitar, like 12 hours a day.
Wow.
I didn't know who he was or what he was. He was just a super high energy guy with a guitar.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about Boz, but I do like his music. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You have a smile on your face. It seems like you must have good memories associated with that.
Oh, yeah, I had good memories. We had good times together.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the Dead. I know the Grateful Dead and you had somewhat of an association. You knew Jerry.
Yeah, I knew Jerry and kind of knew him more in the astral plane than the physical plane. And spent a lot of time on LSD with him, like eyeballing him and working with him. And I had a chance to open up for the Dead in 1990 for the New Year's show. And I got to do Ram, 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 Ram for about, 20 minutes.
Nice.
It was my
20,000 people chanting.
Yeah,
with you?
20,000 people chanting.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's some Shakti.
Yeah, and they had a big. They made it was very interesting because it was like this was the one time that I was doing this thing for them, and they built like they've never done it before or since, but they built this huge statue of Kali, about 20 feet tall, all black, like 4 arms, like huge, out of paper mache and everything. Yeah, so it was like kind of traditionally
crazy
connected with me because I'm really into Kali Ma and the Divine Mother.
That's beautiful that they did that. Yeah, and by the way, thanks for being here on Mother's Day, Bhagavan Das.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Right on, for sure.
It was like, this was no coincidence.
Yeah, no.
What other musicians was I going to ask you about? I heard you had worked with the band Fish. Is that true?
No, I never worked with Fish.
Okay, I guess that was a rumor then.
Yeah, no, I never worked with those guys. But, yeah, that's, I sang with Bob Dylan.
Really?
Yeah. We spent about a couple hours together in his apartment in New York, and I got to sit on his couch and play his guitar, and we sang together. That was pretty cool.
Wow, what year did you sing with Dylan?
I sang with Dylan in 1971.
Wow. That's something that I don't think was in the book.
No.
Wow,
it was just a personal connection.
Yeah.
It wasn't on stage or anything.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. We're just all music geeks here.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's pretty amazing. One of the great heroes of my life, Bob Dylan.
I was going to say, who are some of your favorite rock musicians? I know you don't spend very much time listening to rock music. I know that.
No, I like Neil Young, and I like more that kind of style.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I don't listen to a lot of rock, but
yeah,
I do like him.
Some acoustic type rock stuff.
Yeah, more acoustic type rock
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and did I remember right? Aren't you a fan of the blues music as well?
I like the Black Muse blues. Yeah, I like the old real
Howlin' Wolf.
Howlin' Wolf style, really intense stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I don't know. This just kind of popped into my head, but do you think that now, it just seems like in the last, I don't know, spirituality with quotations around it kind of has become commercialized.
Yeah.
They've, the whole hot yoga thing and just, spiritual materialism and people, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Everyone out there knows what I'm talking about. They use it to sell everything now. And,
it's just like sex. It's used for everything.
And kind of, what are your thoughts on that? Like, if you today, if you were you're a young person today, and you're like you were, back in the '60s, and you're 18. Obviously, India is not the India it was then by any means.
Right.
What advice would you give to somebody who is on that, trying to be on a path and trying not to get caught up in the whole spiritual materialism thing and kind of the fakeness of it, and that you can't really take that trip to India that you took.
No, you can't.
You can't go there anymore. It's not there. And what kind of advice would you give to somebody that?
Well, I think that it's very difficult to deal with what's going on right now in the world, because things are really dark. Okay, it's called the Dark Dharma Ending Age, or Kali Yuga. And everything is just massive, fake lies, and people are just going crazy, and people don't know where they're at and what's going on, and the materialistic lifestyle has kind of run its course, and people just can't afford things anymore, and America's falling apart. And this is the truth. I mean, there really is no future. The future has got to be in your own deeper connection to the source that you have to find within your own heart, within your own self. It's very, very important that you find this out. What I can just say is you need a spiritual friend. You need a guru. And they're super hard to come by, because there are very few left. They're all charlatans. They're all commercial. People have all sold out. All they care about is for this life. You see, this life is just so fleeting, and it's so short. And so we suffer and do all these things to build up this life, and we leave naked and alone with nothing.
Just like we come in.
Exactly. So our soul, our spiritual life has got to be developed within ourselves. And what you can do, you can pray, you can be alone, you can read good books. You can find some type of, I really feel strongly that Buddhist meditation is the best way to go now, because as corrupt as every system is, there's still a very deep purity in Buddhism, because Buddhism is a religion of liberation. It's not a religion of joining up or becoming something. It's something of bigger than that, in the sense that it's to be free. It's to liberate yourself from your own defilements, from the negativity of your own mind, and learning how to meditate, and learning how to sit still, and learning how to just be with what comes up, and not grasp it, and not become attached to it, and not just, have to go with every thought, because it's just thought after thought. They're like birds flying through the sky. We just have to let it go and let it be, and just fade back and just be free.
So well said. Baba Bhagavan Das is celebrating his 73rd birthday Thursday, this coming week, in Ashland at Pioneer Hall, across from Lithia Park. 7:30 p.m. Kirtan. It's all ages. So if you're someone that's seriously interested in what you're hearing, if you're already interested in Baba, you've heard, read some of the books, come on down to Pioneer Hall if you'd like. It's going to be Thursday. That's the 17th at 7:30 p.m. Suggested $20 donation. We had to rent the place, and again, it's Baba's birthday, so come down.
Yeah, and even if you haven't read the book, or if this is your introduction to Baba Bhagavan Das, is tonight here on the Church of Rock, I really encourage you to come down to the Pioneer Hall and check this out, because it'll be an experience like you've never had. I really think I would encourage everyone to come and just kind of just be, and open your hearts, and it'll be an experience you won't forget. I can guarantee that.
What can people expect, Bob, if they're listening and they're wondering what's going to happen when I go down there Thursday at 7:30?
Well, we're going to chant. We're going to get everyone in the room chanting for a couple hours, and we're just going to build the energy up. And I'll do some talking, and we'll just, connect together as a group, as a spiritual group, and just like be singing the divine names of God, the divine names of the Holy Mother, divine names of Lord Ganesha, Shiva, etc., the Hindu Godhead. Well, because it's universal. It's very universal.
It is.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you making the time to come by the KSKQ station today to talk to us. It's been great. Mother's Day with Baba. We've been trying to take care of some issues with the telephone. There's always reality behind all these, we're talking all this love and bliss and good times, but behind the scenes, we're dealing with Apple phones. So, yeah, if someone out there in Ashland knows something about these phones, or if you're one of those hacker types,
iPhone.
An iPhone type, if you know stuff about iPhones, we need some help. We're actually down here at the station now. If you know where we're at, stop by and help us figure stuff out, man. Bhagavan Das, it's great to see you as always.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
We'll see you Thursday.
Okay, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum.
Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, we give thanks to the beloved sages and blessed saints. You're listening to EarthHeart Radio on KSKQ.
And that was a re-recording. We played that back. Take note, the information at the end of that interview is not relevant because that happened a year ago. That does wrap up our 1-year-old interview with Bhagavan Das. I must say the views and opinions expressed during this show are those of the speaker or guest and do not necessarily represent the views of KSKQ, the Multicultural Association of Southern Oregon, or the underwriters of KSKQ. I'm Shankara Das, a.k.a. Derek Moody. It is a pledge drive here at KSKQ. I've only got about 13 more minutes. So far, I've got a $25 donation. Could I get one of you generous, loving people to kindly donate or match another $25? Could you? Huh? Please? 541-482 3999 is the number. I'm going to read this and then play a song for you. And then during that time, I hope somebody will call and help me out or help the station out. The Rogue Valley Messenger is a proud partner of KSKQ. The Messenger strives to publish fun, smart, and engaging articles from music and food reviews to investigative stories that ask tough questions and consider the successes and failures of local government agencies, providing as much news, entertainment, and information that they can pack into each issue every issue. The Messenger also hosts a comprehensive listing of the region's events and cultural happenings. Interested in the Rogue Valley's nonprofit events and news publication? You can email info@roguevalley.messenger.com or head over to roguevalley.messenger.com for more info. And we appreciate it, of course, very, very much.
Namaste from EarthHeart Radio and KSKQ.
Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Sweet Jesus, let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Let it shine on, oh let it shine on me. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on me. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Oh my Lord, shine just one shine on me. Heal the sick and he raised up the dead. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on me. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Well, I know I've got religion, and I ain't ashamed. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Angels in heaven calling out my name. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Holy Mother, let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me. Shine on, oh let it shine on me. Let your light from the lighthouse shine on me.
Beautiful. You're listening to KSKQ and the EARTHEART Radio Show with Bhagavan Das and Richard Sales and a great gospel number called Light from the Lighthouse Medley. Thank you to Anonymous who donated $25 a while ago. It is our pledge drive and we do have lots of premiums and gifts available for folks that want to pledge. As a matter of fact, if you're a fan of coffee, the Human Bean has generously donated, and we could take a $15 donation right now and hook you up with a Human Bean gift card. That would be pretty neat because, you know, the Human Bean's just down the road wherever you're at. There's also original art from Sally Mix, the most talented artist, and you can come into the station to check that out. Donations for $50, you can get some art for your wall. That's a really awesome deal. The Jackson County Fuel Committee has donated a carrier bag. For like a $30 donation, you can have this really nice carrier bag. There's all kinds of great premiums here. There's even one vinyl album that Diana's Record donated, and it's by Mississippi Fred McDowell, a really great old blues artist. We've featured him on the Church of Rock radio show, which will be on this evening at 7 p.m., by the way. So you can call and make a donation for that at 541-482-3999.
Please let go of your fear. Positive news is here. Things aren't as bad as it seems, no matter what they say. News with an agenda is meant to instill fear. True news can instill hope.
That's right, man. There is good news in the world. Earlier this week, man, something happened that was good. Lego, the company, is now offering to pay for you to ship your unused bricks to children in need. Yep. Earlier this week, the Lego Toy Group announced the launch of a new project to encourage fans to donate their old Lego bricks so they can be used by less fortunate children. Lego Replay is a new pilot program that will accept any and all previously used Lego bricks and donate them to kids' nonprofits in the United States. They've made it simple that folks at home can just send in their idle bricks. Collect any loose Lego pieces, sets, or elements and place them into a cardboard box and visit the Lego Replay website. And you can print out a free shipping label and possibly call the service either UPS or FedEx, depending on your location and the label. You can have the Lego pieces picked up at your door. Yep, it's picked up, and each brick is going to be sorted, inspected, and given a rigorous cleaning. Bricks will be sent to Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston for their after-school programs, and they're soon going to evaluate to include a possible expansion program for your area. Also, a billionaire who promised to pay off college debt for grads is now paying off their parents' school debt too. Multi-billionaire Robert F. Smith made headlines back in May for his pledge to pay off the student loan debt of an entire graduating college class, and now he says he's paying off the debt of the students' parents as well. The history-making grant from Mr. Smith will ease the strain on the class of 2019. The $34 million contribution will allow the new alumni to pursue advanced degrees and build wealth without being tethered to the undergraduate loan debt related to the university costs, which we know are very costly. One more, and then I'm out of here, my friends. 4 dolphins got trapped in a canal, and a human chain formed to help get them out. More than a dozen people formed a human chain, as a matter of fact, to guide 4 dolphins out of a St. Petersburg canal and back into Tampa Bay. 2 mothers and their calves swam into the canal and seemed to be trapped. Officials with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission believe the dolphins were scared of swimming under the bridge. Using a human chain to create a visual barrier, the dolphins were able to overcome the canal bridges, which were believed to be perceived as obstacles. Clearwater Marine Aquarium said in a statement. So that's always good when animals are rescued. I'm Shankara Das, a.k.a. Derek Moody. I'm going to stick around for about 5 minutes after 3. If you'd like to call and make a pledge to KSKQ, I'll be here for a few. I'll be glad to take your phone calls, and I can go over some of the premiums we have, which I mentioned earlier. We do have plenty of those available still, or you can just give generously from the bottom of your heart at kskq.org. But the number here is 541-482-3999. And I'm so happy to have you here at the EARTHEART Radio Show, where everyone is welcome. And I will be back next Sunday at 2 o'clock with more Pledge Drive begging, because we need your help and we love you. Have a great afternoon. Catch you tonight at 7 o'clock on the Church of Rock with Sister Tracy right here at KSKQ. And I must say, you're listening to KSKQ 89.5 FM, Ashland, Oregon, and KSKQ translator K231CW 94.1 FM, Medford, Oregon.
You've been listening to EarthHeart Radio with your host, Shankara Das. EarthHeart Radio is produced by Shankara Das in association with Sister Tracy and Krishna Consciousness. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for more EarthHeart Radio.